Welcome to Immune Wisdom. As a health professional, I hear the exact same thing from busy people all the time. I just don't have the time to exercise. But what if I told you that the type of sport you choose actually matters way more than the hours you spend doing it? Today, we're diving into the hard data to figure out exactly which sports give you the absolute highest longevity return on your time investment.
So, take a second right now and guess, which everyday physical activity do you think holds the ultimate key to maximum longevity? Is it running? Maybe weightlifting? Swimming? Well, today, we're going to look at a massive population study, filter it all through some clinical gold standard data, and eventually, we're going to design an optimal, super time-efficient routine that you can knock out in just 15 minutes a day.
All right, let's start with our first major piece of evidence. Researchers dug into a massive data set pulled from Wikipedia profiles, observing the lifespans of roughly 100,000 different people. Now, an observational study of this sheer size gives us a really comprehensive view of general health trends. It's a huge sample size, which is exactly what we health researchers look for when we're trying to spot those initial patterns in human behavior. But looking at the raw data, we see some pretty extreme variations. Sumo wrestling correlates with a massive 10-year drop in life expectancy, and volleyball shows a 5.4-year decrease. On the flip side, gymnastics appears to add over 8 years. But as health experts, we really have to look a lot closer at what's actually driving these numbers before we go around making clinical recommendations. Let's look at a few other popular sports measured in the same observational study. You can see some really solid positive gains across the board here. Swimming adds almost 2 years to your life. Golf brings you close to 4 extra years. Running sits nicely at a 4.4-year gain. And racket sports jump all the way up to 5.7 years. Now, on the surface, this seems pretty straightforward, right? If you've got a packed schedule, you might think you should just pick a sport at the top of the chart to maximize your limited free time. But it's really not quite that simple. Because here's the crucial point. There is a massive catch to everything we just looked at. This initial data set is purely observational, and all that means is it only looks at the mathematical correlation between people who happen to play these sports and how long they happen to live. It doesn't actually isolate the sport itself as the root cause of that long life. As you probably know, correlation does not equal causation, and that's a huge pitfall we absolutely have to avoid when we're analyzing health data. And this perfectly illustrates why raw observational data can be so incredibly misleading. These outside factors, things like lifestyle, economics, environment, and underlying conditions, they heavily influence that Wikipedia data. Take golf, for example. It might show a high longevity boost simply because wealthier people, who generally have better access to premium healthcare, highly nutritious food, and less stressful living environments, well, they tend to be the ones playing it. The sport looks amazing on paper because of who is playing it, not necessarily because the physical act of swinging a golf club is magically extending their lifespan. So to find the actual truth here, we need a better filter. We need to completely eliminate that background noise. And that brings us to our second, much more rigorous data set from the renowned Mayo Clinic. Their singular goal was to find the true, unfiltered biological impact of specific sports on human aging, completely stripping away all of those outside economic and lifestyle variables that totally skewed that Wikipedia data. Now, to do this correctly, they didn't just scrape the internet for profiles. No, the Mayo Clinic actively tracked a highly controlled, specific group of exactly 8,577 participants. This is an incredibly robust and scientifically sound number for a clinical observation. It ensures the results we're about to see aren't just random statistical flukes. And even more impressively, they tracked these individuals for a staggering 25 years. Just think about that for a second. This wasn't some quick 6-month survey. This was a quarter of a century of meticulous data gathering, watching exactly how these people lived, how they exercised, and eventually how they aged over a massive portion of their adult lives. When researchers mathematically adjusted the initial biased data to strictly isolate the physical effects of the sports themselves, the playing field totally leveled. By adjusting for things like age, gender, education, and wealth, this model reveals the pure biological benefit. Meaning, if a wealthy executive and a working-class mechanic play the exact same sport, the suggested data tells us the precise longevity boost they both receive. So, with all of those economic and lifestyle biases finally stripped away and tossed out, the researchers were able to create some incredibly precise rankings. We're about to look at the definitive leaderboard of which sports genuinely, biologically add the most years to your life. Starting right at the foundation of our leaderboard, we see that gentle activities provide an undeniable biological boost. General health exercises like Tai Chi, walking, and calisthenics add up to 3.2 extra years. The simple daily benefit here is improved blood flow and joint mobility. And hey, for those of you with highly demanding, super busy schedules, this is your baseline. A focused 15-minute daily routine of simple calisthenics or just brisk walking around your neighborhood is incredibly efficient and mathematically proven to extend your lifespan. Moving up the ranks to the mid-tier sports, the cardiovascular benefits really start to flex their muscles in the data. Swimming adds a solid 3.4 years, cycling offers 3.7 extra years, and soccer jumps all the way up to an impressive 4.7 years of life gained. These are fantastic, scientifically proven numbers. However, speaking from a practical standpoint for a busy professional, swimming and cycling often require significant commute and prep time, right? That can be pretty tough to manage on a tight schedule. But the definitive leaders in the Mayo Clinic's 25-year study? Racket sports. Badminton yields an incredible 6.2 extra years, but tennis completely dominates the data, adding an astonishing 9.7 years to life expectancy. I mean, from a clinical perspective, adding nearly an entire decade of life just by choosing the right sport, that is an absolutely extraordinary return on your investment. So naturally, the most important question we have to ask ourselves right now is why? Why do racket sports completely dominate the longevity data, leaving great exercises like swimming, cycling, and even running completely in the dust? What is the hidden biological secret here? Well, the Mayo Clinic researchers identified 4 scientifically backed reasons these specific sports create such comprehensive, life-extending total body health. First, whole body movement. When you play a racket sport, you're constantly lunging, stretching, and twisting. Second, balance. Your core is constantly engaged during those rapid directional changes. Third, reflex training. Reacting to an object traveling at high speeds keeps your central nervous system incredibly sharp. And finally, brain flexibility. You are constantly strategizing and predicting your opponent's next move. Because it simultaneously taxes your cardiovascular system, your muscles, and your cognitive pathways, it is arguably the most time-efficient workout you could possibly choose. The data is absolutely clear. Simultaneous physical and cognitive engagement is the proven recipe for longevity. If you have a heavily packed schedule, efficiency is literally everything. So, my challenge to you as a health professional is this: block out just 15 minutes a day. Whether it's doing a focused calisthenics circuit right in your living room or hitting a tennis ball against a wall on your lunch break, which highly efficient sport will you choose this week? Thank you so much for joining me on Immune Wisdom. Keep moving and keep learning.